Hello, ladies and sisters. This is Adia. I am a health coach and I love helping women that are dealing with polycystic ovarian syndrome and hormonal imbalance in general deal with their symptoms in a daily basis. If you need or want to have more information about what I do or how can I help you, I'm going to put my link of my bio in the link below this video. So, if you're just have been diagnosed with polycystic ovarian syndrome and you came out of doctor's office not understanding a word of what he said, and right now you're feeling so confused about this new condition, do you know what? Watch this video to understand more. And in this video, I'm going to share 5 things I wish I knew from the beginning when I was diagnosed with polycystic ovarian syndrome. I have it as a fresh memory how I felt when I came out of the doctor's office who told me that I have polycystic ovarian syndrome and that I need to take a birth pill control to manage my symptoms for the lifetime. And not only that, but if I ever wanted to have children, I had to go through ovulation induction or worse, through IVF. So I was in total denial and very shocked. Then I began to search and get some information about the syndrome. And today, after quite 15 years dealing with polycystic ovarian syndrome, and on top of that, other autoimmune disease, out of which 7 were dealing with infertility, you know what? I have learned a lot about how to deal with polycystic ovarian syndrome naturally, what supplements to take, what kind of diets to do, what kind of lifestyle I need to do and I need to change in order to get and maybe even reverse my symptoms. So actually I have reversed a lot of my symptoms and many of my struggles in the beginning of my PCOS journey. For example, I do not have hair loss anymore. I do not have the chin acne that I had at the time. I do have a very small amount of little hairs in my face. So I think that with a good health and lifestyle, you have to reverse some of these symptoms for good. So today I'm going to share with you 5 things that I wish I knew at the time when I was diagnosed with polycystic ovarian syndrome. The first one is that PCOS is not having cysts in your ovaries. Because generally women are very frightened of this condition because they think that the cyst in the ovaries will burn and you will have to go to the hospital in emergency, while these cysts are only just small follicles that are a normal part of the ovary, of the female reproductive organ. So cysts are small follicles that are a normal part of the ovaries, and each follicle has an egg that naturally has to be fertilized each month. In PCOS, these follicles does not mature enough, and as such there is a lack of ovulation, and the cycles become irregular. So your cycles can be like 21 days, that is a small cycle but without ovulation, or the cycles can be irregular, long cycles like 35 days, 40 days and more, if still there is no ovulation. This is why the follicles tend to stay in the ovary because they are not matured and begin to produce some sorts of hormones, like for example amounts of estradiol that blocks other hormones like FSH or progesterone to function properly and to do their job. So if you ever heard about stories that there are cysts that get burned in the ovaries, this is not the case. Polycystic ovarian syndrome is just the terminology, but it doesn't mean that you have cysts. Most of women with polycystic ovarian syndrome also have other endocrine conditions like insulin resistance or prediabetes. So you need to look for those kinds of foods that do good for insulin resistance and does not get worse with time to progress to prediabetes or to diabetes. One thing that you can do here is Google and search for foods with low glycemic index. Glycemic index is used to categorize foods based on their comparison to glucose, which has a glycemic index of 100. That is the most of all. That is the maximum it can be. So you have to search for low glycemic index food, like, for example, most fruits and vegetables, or beans, or very minimally processed grains, or some low glycemic pasta, or low-fat dairy, and all kinds of nuts. If you're asking what is a low glycemic index, it is an index that has a number of 55 or less. So you have to Google what kind of foods have this kind of glycemic index and try to add more of them into your plate. The third thing that I wish I knew when I first was diagnosed with polycystic ovarian syndrome was that you do not need to take the birth pill control. You can take different supplements and vitamins to control some of the symptoms of polycystic ovarian syndrome, like, for example, some spearmint tea or some saw palmetto. All of these, both of these, have the capacity and the ability to lower your testosterone levels or the androgens that you have in your bloodstream. You can take inositol or berberine to lower your insulin sensitivity, or you can take some vitex. It is called agnus, castus, which is taken to restore the ovulation that is missing in all the women or most of women with polycystic ovarian syndrome. So please Google what I have just mentioned now, do your research, maybe contact with your doctor, because this is only my experience, and you will find a lot of information that can help you achieve some reverse on the symptoms of polycystic ovarian syndrome. The fourth thing is that you need to do a lot of exercise, but it needs to be balanced. Like, for example, a gentle exercise regime of walking, of swimming, some yoga, Pilates, stretching, or some gentle aerobic exercises. And the last thing, but which is very important, is that polycystic ovarian syndrome is, yes, a chronic condition, but it can be managed naturally and holistically, because every one of us is different from the other. So if I have polycystic ovarian syndrome and my friend also have polycystic ovarian syndrome, I can tell you for sure that both of us have different kinds of polycystic ovarian syndrome, and we have different symptoms that manifest in different ways for the same condition. So it is crucial that you go through diet changes, a good exercise regime, and shift for good your lifestyle. You need to be aware of the fact that once you're diagnosed with polycystic ovarian syndrome, the first thing that you need to do is take your health in your hand and transform it for good through changes in your lifestyle, through diet, exercises, lowering your stress level, and having an overall kind of gentle lifestyle that can help you manage your symptoms and reverse your polycystic ovarian syndrome condition. If you need more help and you have decided to take your health in your hands, please contact me. I will put the link below. And if you have the chance or want to be part of my Facebook group, you are very, very welcome. I wish you good health and stay well. Bye-bye.